Saraswati Vidyalaya Union High School welcomes all the students of Standard 9. In today's History Chapter 6, Empowerment of Women and Other Weaker Sections, we are going to study Laws for Women, Awareness Against the Dowry Tradition, Family Codes, and Trial involving Alimony. Let us begin with the laws for women. Laws for Women. The law enacted in 1952 recognizes women's rights to alimony and their share in the father's property. Here, right to Stridhan was recognized, polygamy was made illegal, and women, just like men, got the right to sue for divorce. It was a law that took one step forward concerning women's issues over the following decade. The Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961 made both giving and taking of dowry a cognizable criminal offense. This dismantled the dowry tradition by its roots and further encouraged the social movement. The law alleviated the distress to women caused by the undesirable tradition of dowry. The Maternity Benefit Act, which gave women the right to give leave from work at the time of childbirth, also came into force in 1961. So, students, we can see the various laws which were made for the benefit of women. The law enacted in 1952. This law, it recognized women's rights to alimony. Now, alimony means the fixed amount paid to a married woman for her upkeep by the husband who has divorced her. So, by this 1952 law, the woman got the right to alimony and also the share in the father's property. Also, her right to Stridhan was recognized. Polygamy was made illegal. So, the man having many marriages, this was made illegal, and women, just like men, they also got the right to sue for divorce. If the women want divorce, they can ask for it. They got the right to divorce the man. It was a law that took one step forward concerning women's issues over the following decade. So all these changes came up with the development, and as after independence, slowly when India progressed, then even powers were given to women. The Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961 made both giving and taking of dowry a cognizable criminal offense. So, this 1961 Dowry Prohibition Act, according to it, the one who is giving and the one who is taking dowry, both were considered to be punishable by law, as it was considered as a crime. Now, this dismantled the dowry tradition by its roots. So, all these were done so that the dowry tradition will be stopped. The law elevated the distress to women caused by the undesirable tradition of dowry. So all these attempts were made that the operations done to the women be stopped and the dowry tradition be stopped. The Maternity Benefit Act. Now this, when the women gave birth to a child, then the woman should get some leave to look after the child, to look after the baby. This Maternity Benefit Act, this also was passed in 1961, and this benefited all the women who were working, the working women, and they got the benefit from this, that they were paid. Okay, they got the salary and they got the leave also. Leave was for the upbringing of the newborn baby. You can see the inheritance right of women. You can see in the picture that women also got the right in the share of the father's property. Then we will come now to awareness against the dowry tradition. Even after the enactment of the anti-dowry law, incidents like women burns to death, as sari pallu catches fire while cooking and woman slips into well while washing clothes, drowns and dies continued to be reported. Investigations still revealed dowry to be the most frequent cause of such deaths. The role of the police, the administration and judiciary were highlighted. This created greater awareness. As a result, the Dowry Prohibition Amendment Act came into force in 1984. In 1988, 2009, in 1988, it was found that 2,209 women died victim to the dowry tradition. In 1990, the number of dowry deaths was 4,835 and in 1993 it was 5,377. These numbers will impress upon you the seriousness of the issue. So now we can see that there were an enactment of the anti-dowry laws, but still after that, even after the Dowry Act which was passed, there were incidents like the woman deaths by the woman getting burnt as the sari pallu catches fire while cooking, or the woman slips into well. Means actually these incidents where most of the woman cases came where their deaths were reported because of fire or because of their falling into well were more while washing clothes or some other work. So actually they were all doubtful that the women were being killed. Okay, so investigations still revealed that most of the cases came up because of the dowries not given by the woman and by her family members. So the role of the police, the administration and the judiciary were highlighted, and this created greater awareness. As a result, the Dowry Prohibition Amendment Act, okay, so more improvement and more forceful, this came into force in 1984, and later in 1988 still 2,200 women died victim to the dowry tradition. Then in 1990 the number of dowry deaths were about 4,835 and in 1993 it was 5,377. All these numbers will impress you the seriousness of the issue. So the seriousness of the issue can be understood by this. Now next is the family codes of 1984. Family codes were established to resolve conflicts arising out of differences within marriage and domestic problems, as well as issues such as alimony, single parenthood, separation, care of children and ownership, which are all related to the family situation. These family codes give priority to mutual understanding over witnesses and evidence and to counselors over lawyers. Emphasis is on resolving issues quickly but justly. Now, students, in family codes, these were established in 1984. Their main purpose was to resolve the conflicts arising. Now, why were the conflicts there? They were out of differences within marriage, domestic problems, then issues such as alimony. Alimony means the amount which a woman should get if her husband divorces her. Then single parenthood, separation, then the care of the children and ownership, which are all related to the family situation. So for that, family codes were established. These family codes, they gave priority to mutual understanding over witnesses and evidences and to counselors over lawyers. So they first tried to bring mutual understanding, okay, and solve the problem, and emphasis is on resolving issues quickly but justly. And also they tried hard to solve the issues quickly but justly, means wisely. Now next is the trial involving alimony. This is the 1985. A fixed amount paid to a married woman for her upkeep by the husband who has divorced her is called alimony. In the case of Muhammad Ahmad Khan versus Shah Banu Begum, the Supreme Court gave the verdict that Shah Banu Begum had the right to alimony. However, religious organizations protested vociferously against the verdict. As a result, the Muslim Women's Act, Protection of Rights on Divorce, was passed by Parliament. Now, there was a trial involving alimony in 1985. Now, alimony means a fixed amount paid to a married woman for her upkeep, and it is paid by the husband who has divorced her. So, there was a case, it was in the Muslim community, Muhammad Ahmad Khan against his wife Shah Banu Begum. So, in that, Shah Banu Begum appealed in the Supreme Court, where Supreme Court gave the verdict that Shah Banu Begum had the right to alimony, that she should get some amount for her upkeeping by her husband. However, religious organizations, they protested against this verdict, especially in the Muslim community. So as a result, the Muslim Women's Act, Protection of Rights on Divorce, was passed by Parliament. So in this part, we have learned about the various laws, then the family codes, then the Awareness Against the Dowry Prohibition Act. Now, in the next part, we will be studying about the Commission of Sati, then the protection of human rights, and the reservation for women. Thank you.